welcome to the ESR debut.
I'm going to preempt Mike because I'm the better of the promos.
He is the better of the promo.
It's true. What's up? What's up?
But you don't, half the time you don't know what's happening.
Yeah, well, that makes it funnier, though.
Where are my pills?
My pills! We're currently, I've been reasonably informed that we are racing on Jacuzzi Hurst.
The Jacuzzi Bowl?
Fiesta Hurst?
Oh, welcome to Bathurst, presented by Fiesta Pal.
Giggity giggity, they are fake cheese people. We have about 35,000 racers tonight, most of them Brazilian, so that'll be fun.
Nothing in that statement was true.
Listen, they don't never let the facts get in the way of a good story, especially because I can assume that they're all visually acuitive and can actually see who's racing and what country they're from. And if you don't know what country they're from, get yourself an atlas and you can play along at home.
I think these flags are all pretty obvious. The only one that's not is Josiah there. We did actually have to look that up ourselves.
What about the Uruguayan Nightmare?
We don't have anyone from Uruguay, do we?
Oh, is Tony not?
No, that's Argentina, dude.
Same thing. It's not the same thing. That's the joke.
But yeah, I think the rest of these flags are pretty commonly known, if I may say so.
Well, I don't think anybody's going to identify where Stephen Cross is from. Most people are pretty geographically limited.
Quick rundown at the top end of the grid. Mike Stockmill on pole in the Ford Mustang ahead of Stephen Cross in the Corvette, the BMW of Riz Gons, who, by the way, is Caleb Gonzalez. Oh. So, there you go. Josiah Jerome, P4. He's come a long way. Eric Friesen, 5th. Paul Riccobeni, 6th. 7th for Ariel Zatoni. Making his ESR debut, Nick Peterson and Nils Baukic in 8th and 9th. And Mike Jeffries will round off the top 10.
Giggity. With Lachlan Nichols rounding off the Harpoon Squad.
Well, he is the Harpoon Squad. Like I don't even think he rounds it off. I think he just is the squad.
I'm going to call it the Brute Squad. I'm on the Brute Squad. You are the Brute Squad.
So the grid is forming up. We have 32 cars. Notably, one car will start from the pit lane, which, a little bit of a spoiler there, actually works as an advantage at this particular track because the run through the pit lane is pretty short, and you avoid the first corner altogether.
Run through the pit lane. Do, 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 do.
We are just awaiting everyone to join the grid. At this point, I believe everyone's going, how much fuel do we need? And a hint, one person got it wrong and had to make a fuel stop. All right, forming up on the grid. That is a long grid. Whew, Jesus. The Mustang there in the yellow, black, and red on pole position. And we are going red lights, red lights, red lights. Go! We are off. And pretty good start there by the Corvette of Steve Cross, but I think it's going to still be Mr. Mike Stockmill leading the way. There is Riz Gons going side by side with Josiah Jerome, who gets a little bit out of shape there on the curbing there. And you can see the man who has the biggest start of the race here as he flies up the order will be Mr. Mark Glabzul, started from the pit lane, made up I think 11 positions at the start. Pretty insane.
How many of those did he run up the road?
None of them.
So I am shocked and pleasantly surprised.
Heading up the hill into the, well, I mean, for those who are unaware, Bathurst, probably the second most dangerous track on the calendar. The walls are very tight. An accident can trigger a massive pileup, and it's not great. The only track that is more deadly is, of course, Micheal.
I'm into that too.
Josiah Jerome has slipped back to 5th place, being passed by Eric Friesen off the start there. He's in the ice brake Porsche up ahead of the Oust Audi of Josiah Jerome. In the background, Paul Riccobeni, and that is Ariel Zatoni. And Lachlan Nichols, a pretty good start up into 8th position there for the hometown Aussie in the Camaro. That freaking insane bastard.
But is he real cheese people?
Oh, somebody off in the background there. I think that is Michael Jeffries, who has spun at the bottom of the hill and is dropping like an absolute stone. There he is down to 26th position. Mark Klabzul looks like he's hit a little bit of trouble in his back there a little ways as well. 32 cars on the track. We were going to have 33, but unfortunately Tobias Howard's internet was unable to cooperate. Josiah Jerome off the track and collected by Lachlan Nichols' big-ass American junk.
Holy shit. Lachlan Nichols, welcome to Revengeville.
Zoltan Kalmandi running ahead of Wesley Stokes there, the, I think, lowest ranking pro entry right now, that Wesley Stokes. And ahead of them is Michael Magas in the Audi R8. Gerardo Delvale in the second Mustang is making a charge through the grid. He is up into the top 10 as he displaces Joe Racer from 10th position there in the Audi. Johnny Major in the mix there. Shout out to Johnny, our G1 fan.
Wait a minute, is Gerardo Delvea driving a car that has 0 suspension? I think he is. It says 4.
Paul Riccobeni up into the top 5 with Josiah Jerome's misfortune. He is now the top Audi in the race, but has an Audi right behind him, Ariel Zattoni. And then, in fact, there's another one actually behind them in the form of Nick Peterson. A little bit of bumping there between Rick Martel and David Walsh over 19th position. Shout out to David Walsh making his ESRDB. And that is Mike Stopmill! Mike Stopmill is backwards on the hill, and the lead has been given to Stephen Cross.
Mike Stopmill is a backwards individual.
Indeed. Wesley Stokes on a little bit of a mini charge. He is up on the tail of Michael Magas, who is up on the tail of Leonard Burke, who's having a pretty good race there in 13th position, the Academy driver.
Now starring in Neon Hard with a Vengeance.
And further back, that is Zoltan Kalmandi, so these three may learn that you do not mess with Zohan.
Correct.
Behind him, it's Reynaldo Tavares. Back to the front of the pack we go with Paul Riccobeni chasing Eric Friesen. That is now for a podium with Mike Stopmill down in 28th position. Have you ever seen this, Byron?
I have never actually seen anything, so I mean, there's a limited field of view.
Indeed. Could go 3 wide here through the chase. Michael Magas looking for a way around Leonard Burke, but Burke successfully defends. Wesley Stokes in the mix there as well. And there is the Audi train of Riccobeni, Zattoni, and Peterson right behind the Porsche of Eric Friesen. Something going on at the back there. I think that's just Zoltan's internet connection playing up, perhaps. Or maybe not. Looks like he has dropped all the way down to 26th position, so that hurts him considerably. Paul Riccobeni again looking for a move through Griffin's Bend and up into the cutting. By the way, I actually know
Griffins?
I actually know the turn names for a change because the web HUD that has been developed by a number of groups actually gives you the turn names as you're driving around the track now.
Oh, very nice.
So you
listen, it's already Australia. We don't need griffins. They already throw poisonous snakes at you every 5 minutes when you visit. We know.
Well, I mean, in fairness, the first corner of this track it aptly sums it up. Would you like to know the name of the first corner?
Poisonous Snake Alley.
Hell's Corner.
Yeah. Poisonous Snake Corner, followed by Poisonous Spider Corner, followed by Shark Gonna Eat Your Ass, followed by We're Just Gonna Dump a Whole Load of Box Jellyfish in Your Car, chicane.
Michael Magas still putting the pressure on Leonard Burke, but still also being pressured by Wesley Stokes. We take a quick look in on the KFC car of Ariel Zattoni, running in 5th position right now for the Argentine.
It's no fair waving the Jim Beam emblem up in my face every time they come around that corner. It's just not nice.
Paul Riccobeni was looking to do something into the chase there. The chase, which is the 2-corner combination here. A very dangerous corner to really do anything in, if we're being entirely honest. Disaster can happen there very easily. Then again, disaster can happen almost anywhere on this track, so, you know, it perfectly sums up Australia.
You get kicked in the teeth by a kangaroo.
Paul Riccobeni of the Project Velocity team with Michael Magas as his teammate this season. They're doing quite well. They're in 4th and 13th position at the moment. Magas has gotten around Leonard Burke, as has Wesley Stokes. Rick Martel up to 16th place, so he's having a pretty good time. And also a guy on the charge to look for is Mike Jeffries, who's up to 18th position after his early on spin.
Josiah,
in the meantime,
gone from 4th to the backside of hell.
In the meantime, one completely suspensionless car just passed another completely suspensionless car as Gerardo Del Valle takes Lachlan Nichols for 8th position.
I hear the Americans, they use brakes as suspension. They just wedge another one in there.
In fairness, the car up front there, the Callaway C7, which is an American design car, though German produced, is actually an American car that has suspension.
I don't believe you, but go on.
It does. You can believe me or not believe me. It's actually got a lot of mechanical grip, that Callaway C7. It's one of the better
based
handling cars.
On American car statistics, press X for doubt.
Michael Jeffries on the tail of Yevgeny Lazarenko there, and also Leonard Burke. So Burke is once again at the head of a bit of a train here. He's lost a spot to Rick Martel since we last checked in with him. Rick Martel up into 15th place, having a pretty solid outing for himself. And kudos to Brazil's Reynaldo Tavares, who's up into the top 20.
Ronaldo, don't call me Brad, Tavares.
Mm-hmm. I do feel like he's probably going to be reduced in rank, though, as he has Josiah Jerome coming up behind him very quickly.
These are possible things. What about your boy, Yancy Medeiros?
Wayne Medeiros back there in not doing so as well as his teammate. He's down in 23rd place. Paul Riccobeni has made the move stick on Eric Friesen in the meantime. And further back, it is Gerardo Del Valle getting past Joe Racer. That is for 9th position. Del Valle was up in 8th position, so I think he may have made a mistake and has lost a spot to Lachlan Nichols again. So he'll have to
Or
get
maybe
past
Lachlan
that
Nichols
Camaro.
might have put him into the pits.
I mean, that is a thing that Lachlan Nichols is known to do.
Just put that out there.
Find outstanding individuals who didn't deserve it in any way, shape, or form. Man.
Hashtag BO did nothing wrong.
I did nothing wrong. Lachlan, you owe me a bumper.
It's gonna keep poking that for a while.
Dude, we're gonna be like 10 years down the road, and I'm still gonna be poking that.
You bastard! Back in 1777, motherfucker touched my goddamn fender and it fell right off.
Nick Peterson, who came into this race as a silver leaguer, but was promoted to pro entry as a result of this race. So, hint, hint, nudge, nudge. There's a result in there for him. Battling with Nils Baukage right now for the top spot in the academy there for 6th position. Josiah Jerome still on the tail of Yevgeny Lazarenko and Leonard Burke, so they still have not cleared Leonard Burke, who is doing an excellent job of defending in that old Audi. That is the Audi R8 LMS Ultra. Oh no! Another mishap for Josiah Jerome, and Eric Friesen's got no front end.
What a slut.
Eric Friesen, no end, and he is going to lose a lot of ground here. Through goes Lachlan Nichols. Through goes Gerardo Del Valle. Following
Eric
through is going to
Friesen,
be
you
Nils
dirty
Baukage.
slut, taking your top off in front of everybody like that.
By the way, Baukage has also had a mishap, I think, because he's dropped way off the back of Nick Peterson. Peterson's up in 5th. Baukage is back in 8th position. And Joe Racer, I think, fancies himself a little bit of that position as well. As there he is, making the move and leading Johnny Major through and into the pit lane. We have Nils Baukage, who's got no front end, and Eric Friesen. So a big blow to the Porsche hopes in this race, as those two top Porsche drivers, top men.
Listen, I'm not trying to
lane.
shame Eric here. If you want to take your top off, I'm into it. I'm not, I heard you like a little dirty talk, so I went with it.
Lachlan Nichols up to 7th place. What do you have to say about Lachlan?
He is the unnatural combination of man and wallaby.
I thought that was Grant Patola.
No, he's the unnatural combination of man and
Platypus?
Well, I was gonna go with like sea dragon, just to be weird.
Just to be weird, completely
Just weirder than a platypus. I mean, Everybody's accepted that a platypus is a thing. It's not fake. But sea dragons are fucking weird.
It's becoming a two-horse race at the front here between Stephen Cross and Riz Gons. They are very much out in front. Ariel Zatoni is now up onto the podium, having passed Paul Riccobeni. Nick Peterson rounding off the top 5 with Gerardo Vale, Lachlan Nichols. Joe Razor having a pretty good race there in 8th place, ahead of Johnny Major and Guillermo Martinez.
I can hear people Googling sea dragon in the background right now.
Indeed.
Did you know that sea dragons can't actually really swim? They just they get pushed around by the currents a lot. They can do a little propulsion, a little bit, but not really, though.
I was aware of this, yes.
Same with the Moa. Those things are dumb.
Yeah, a little bit.
I mean,
Paul Riccobeni, Ariel Zatoni battling for top Audi honors here as Paul looks to the inside at Murray Corner. It's nice that they have a corner named after my uncle.
Y'all can't catch Ariel. He's slicker than chicken grease.
Well, I mean, that is the point of having a KFC car.
That's the joke.
In the meantime, quick update. Leonard Burke is still holding off Yevgeny Lazarenko, so that battle continues, and it looks like the other car that was involved in that particular fight, the name of which kind of eludes me at the moment, has dropped way back. Oh, Rick Martel is way back down in 25th place, so something is happening.
He got it.
And the two Dutchmen are racing each other. It's Stopmill versus Klapzool over 27th place.
Is that a race, though?
They're about a half second apart. Like, there's a fight going on there. I don't think it'll last much longer, but it's a fight.
And as you're saying that half second has climbed to a second and a half.
Well, that would probably just mean Mike Stopmill hit a straightaway, and that Mustang in a straightaway, there's just nothing you can do about it. There is literally nothing. So in practice, I was running behind Mike Stopmill, and when you run behind a car, you get what is called a draft, which makes you faster, basically.
Which sends you to Vietnam.
Well, it's kind of like a vacuum effect. It sucks you up towards the rear of the other car.
Yes.
So I'm following Mike Stopmill, and we're on the Conroyd Straight, which is the gigantic straight. I'll point it out next time we have it up there. But it's one of the longest straights you will, in general, see. And it's right here, actually. They're heading onto it right now here, Paul Riccobeni or Zatoni. But anyways, that one there. But anyways, I was driving behind him, and I went like 0.25 seconds faster down the straight just because of his draft.
Very nice.
Like, that's how fucking fast the Mustang is in a straight line.
What I would like to say that Dixon Hurst has gone from like 30th all the way up to 22nd.
He's having a pretty good race there in the Ford GT.
And you're not going to chalk that up to, like, all non-stop crashes. I mean, yeah, he probably grabbed, like, 3 spots based on crashes, but other than that...
Probably more than 3, but yeah, you know what here? It doesn't matter if it's crash-assisted, because not crashing at Bathurst is exceedingly difficult. So...
And he is still closing in on Wayne, don't call me Yancey Medeiros.
Indeed. Although he's got danger coming behind him. That's Nils Balkage in 23rd place, who... was one of the Porsches we saw pit earlier, so he's a little out of position right now.
Giggity.
In the meantime, heading up the hill once again through Griffin's Bend. I think that's probably your favorite corner on this track, I think, just because right there. Paul Riccobeni putting the pressure on Ariel Zatoni. They are pulling away from Nick Peterson, kind of leaving him a little bit for dead. He's back in 5th place there. Gerardo Delville up to 6, Lachlan Nichols, Joe Racer, Johnny Major, and Guillermo Martinez rounding off top 5. Looks like Timo Koznetsky might have gone off the track there and has lost a couple of positions. I think Dixon Hurst has just gone off the track as well, or he's in the pit lane.
What is this about? Igor Kuznetsov?
Timo Koznetsky.
Oh, my bad.
He is the Porsche driver there in 24th place.
Very nice. On a similar racing note, so I was playing with your boy Carl Hackman, was playing some World of Tanks a little while back. Mm-hmm. And so we were playing together, and we had a pretty good game on your boy Provence. But they've changed Provence so much that I was...
All I care about is, can we still do our race car drive?
We can, but I'm getting to that. It's not going to be anywhere near the same. The washing machine is gone.
Yeah, I know. I played Provence a little bit. And,
We're playing and we're having a really good game on Will of Tanks. I'm showing him stuff. I'm like, we gotta go over here. Okay, ba 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 ba. We killed some dudes. Now we gotta swing over here. Ba 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 ba. Killed some dudes. Now we gotta swing back and cover this. Ba 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 ba. And the whole time I'm thinking, man, we can't race this anymore. I mean, we can. We totally can. But it's not the same.
Yeah, it's like when they took Northwest out of the game, which
was the Brody Breaker.
Yeah, the Brody Breaker.
That was so tricky. We saw so many people just crash out and die.
Indeed. David Walsh going for a move here on Josiah Jerome. I'm not sure if that's super advisable.
I'd recommend it.
Dave Walsh having a pretty solid race actually there. He's he's not doing anything amazing or anything like that, but he's getting it done. Wesley Stokes is up into the top 10, trailing Guillermo Martinez. That means someone dropped out of the top 10. Looks like Joe Racer is in the pit lane, and if I recall correctly, this was the point of the race where Joe realized he did not have enough gas to make it to the end of the race.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to make an announcement that may never be mentioned ever again in the entire racing history of racing history. Mike Magas is closing in on the top 10.
That's a little harsh, sir.
Use it as fuel to drive better.
A little harsh. Oh, don't worry. You've made a psychic prediction a little bit there.
Oh, I am the squad emperor.
Riz Gons putting the pressure on Stephen Cross here at the front of the pack. We, of course, know Riz Gons as Caleb Gonzalez priorly. And Stephen Cross is one of Travis's boys.
Interesting. Does Steve have anger problems?
He might. I mean, he races for 910 Shiza. I mean, probably yes.
Steve Cross, newest member of PossumGrommet.com Racing.
By the way, shout out to, if he sees this, Steve Crossland. We got a Steve Cross, man. You got to get your ass back in here.
That equals truth. Crossland, you are a bitch.
We're kiwi deficient. We have a vitamin kiwi. By the way, sir, I turn your attention to 9th place, if I may.
Holy sheep dip. Who did you bribe / kill / DDoS?
Top 10.
Dang. And building a little bit of a lead as well.
I'm having a good fight at this point with Guillermo. By the way, there we are. There's Guillermo in the orange McLaren up ahead. Johnny Major up ahead. There's me in the yellow Audi. And, of course, Wesley Stokes in the yellow Mercedes. And Mike Jeffries, who spun on lap 1 and has made his way back up to 12th place. Very respectable run.
By Guillermo, did you mean Gerardo?
I think it's Guillermo, is it not?
Gerardo Delvea?
No, Guillermo Martinez.
Oh, my bad.
Different guy.
It's like I'm trying to look ahead of you. I'm like, there's only one G.
No, the guy directly behind me.
I am the OG.
The orange liquid Molly McLaren there. That is Guillermo Martinez as we're lapping. I believe that is Jean-Simon Chenard getting out of our way in the Ford GT.
Put him in the wall, Le Canard. Did you hear pro wrestling break? Did you hear about their your boys, the Good Brothers and Styles reforming the club?
I had heard that, yes.
Yeah, they're called the OC, and everybody's making shitty 90s TV memes out of it. It is the best.
Was it the OC in the 2000s?
I don't really give a shit. It didn't matter, and it still doesn't to this day.
Yeah, no, I'm not denying that part. I'm just being pedantic.
It would have been just as bad in the late 90s as it would have been in the early 2000s, and none of it matters. So people are like photoshopping their faces onto the OC thing. The OC being the original club, of which they are neither of those things.
Carl Anderson is, but no, the other two are not.
Indeed. They're in the WWE, so they're not the original anything. They are not NWO. They are not any part of that. And I'm pretty sure that Prince Devitt had established ties with the Good Brothers before AJ Styles in the WWE. So he's not even original in there. Wow, of all the dumb things. None of this matters to anybody who's actually listening to this and watching the race. And, that's why you pay me the medium dollars.
The solid medium dollars as the battle for the podium is catching up to the
Wait, I'm interested in the Neapolitan car. Who the hell is that?
That's Javier Perez Torres, JPT.
Javi P up in this bitch.
Credit to Javi, who is racing with a damaged wheel during this race, actually. His wheel would not center.
Shit.
So that infected his performance a little bit.
I don't even need to know exactly specifically what that is. It just sounds really bad.
Yeah, he's just getting lapped there by Ariel Zattoni and Paul Riccobeni, but there is no shame in that.
No. You said defective wheel, and in my brain, part of it fell off.
No, that would be Travis Wallace's way of making it
snap off a third of the wheel, and he has to drive one-handed.
No, we had actually a lot of technical problems before this race because, of course, we talked about Tobias Howard's internet giving out on him, unfortunately. And we have Javi, who had his problems with his wheel, and then Justin Swan, right as he was going to join the server, his monitor decided to break.
Oh shit! I saw that. That was an interesting screenshot. And by screenshot, I mean he literally took a picture of it with his phone. He shot his screen.
The race leaders here, Stephen Cross and Riz Gons, coming up to lap. I believe that was one of the Porsches there that they are coming up to lap. I'm not sure who it was. Paul Riccobeni still on the tail of Ariel Zattoni. By the way, Byron, would you believe that Paul Riccobeni is using someone else's setup that is not his own?
I don't know why I wouldn't believe that.
Because it's my setup he's using.
Well, then what the fuck are you doing back in 19th place?
I'm in 9th!
Same difference.
I am having a very solid race, although, spoiler alert, it will get worse.
Yeah.
It will get worse because I'm gonna have a sexual moment with the wall.
Well, I would recommend pitting directly at. See, what you got to do is you time these things. You got to have your intimate, caressing moment with the wall 3 feet before you go left into the pit lane.
That would be ideal, yes.
And hopefully Lachlan's nowhere fucking near you.
Yeah, I was gonna say the pit lane is not actually safe.
No one's safe. Everybody dies.
Lachlan Archer.
Indeed. He's drunk and possibly mad.
In fact, you know what? His team needs a name because unfortunately his teammate Noel Robbins has signed out for the season, and it was technically his team name. So I'm gonna have to rename Lachlan's team, and I'm feeling KES Racing. How's that sound?
KES is good. EBD Racing. Everybody dies.
Everybody dies. Yes. Riz Gons still trying to find his way around Stephen Cross, who's held the lead since Mike Stoppmill's uninspired spin into the wall. Stoppmill's recovery only up to 23rd. Next on his list is Reynaldo Tavares. 22nd place, apparently. Oh, Eric Friesen just dropped out of the race. That's why he moved up to bottom.
Well,
Eric unfortunately suffered some engine damage at this point in the race and elected to not continue as it was unrepairable. It's a shame because he was actually having a pretty solid run through the grid as Riz Gons looking to make a move, and they have a very important back marker ahead of them. A very important back marker who has a certain Dutch flag on his car. That is Mark Klapzool. They're coming up to lap, so that could provide some entertainment in the near future. Paul Riccobeni looking for a move around the outside into Griffin's Bend. And he might get it done. Riz Gons still following. There's not really a lot of overtaking opportunities up this hill, unfortunately. It's a relatively narrow track. Oh, no, they're going to lap Mark Klapzool without any particular issue. He is in there in the... trying to remember what car that was. That was a car I drove one season. It's some kind of water company as his sponsor. Mineral water, I think.
Come on down to flintwater.com. We're going to get you the spiciest water you ever had. You might have liver cancer in 2 years.
You don't want that. You don't want that at all.
You may have mental difficulties after drinking 2 quarts of this water.
Wesley Stokes has slipped down the order a little bit, down to 16th. He's still slipping, so I think perhaps he has had a meeting with the wall at some point, unfortunately. In the meantime, Paul Riccobeni still putting the pressure on Ariel Zattoni. They are catching up to what is probably lap traffic up ahead of them. That is John Picha in the McLaren, and that is a damaged Porsche. Oh! Stephen Cross in the wall. Riz Gons takes the lead in the BMW M6. Heavy damage there. Heavy damage also to, I think that's Wayne Medeiros, who's making his way into the pit lane. So, problems there. Paul Riccobeni up is 4th place. They are catching up to Stephen Cross. Looks like Cross has got him going, but is the Callaway intact? Is the question. Give me a good shot of the C7 Callaway, please. They're making a lap on a damaged Porsche there. And that is John Peach actually up ahead of, not the Callaway of Stephen Cross. Wesley Stokes moving ahead of Leonard Burke back into 16th position. No, the damaged Porsche is going to keep going. I'm not sure who that is. I believe that is either Timo Koznetsky or... yeah, I think it's Timo. I believe it's Timo that is driving that Porsche. Down in, where is he? 24th position.
Any relation to Timo Kiminen?
And at this point, I believe, unfortunately, I've had my meeting with the wall. And there you can see me dropping down the order as I make my way around to the pit lane to get a new front end. Wayne Hutchinson putting the pressure on Yevgeny Lazarenko. Good to see Wayne having a good fight with somebody. That P45 that he's driving, which is a knockoff, it's basically their way of getting a Ferrari in the game without having a Ferrari in the game, if that makes any sense. Not a very strong car, so kudos to Wayne for trying to bring it in a car that has a distinct lack of grunt. But he's doing pretty well there, holding on to 13th position behind Yevgeny, who's a very solid racer as over. Paul Riccobeni still putting the pressure on Ariel Zatoni. Hasn't found a way around that particular car as of yet. Stop Bill Watch 2019 up to 18th place.
18th place is Sing This Song. Doo-da, doo-da.
Johnny Major on the tail of Lachlan Nichols. Can he get around the Camaro? And in the background there is actually Johnny's teammate Mike Jeffries, who's had has had an inspired run. Mike Jeffries, of course, had a spin on lap 1, put him pretty much to the back of the pack, up into 9th place, doing a fantastic job. Ariel Zatoni now behind Paul Riccobeni. We missed the overtake, I do believe, but Paul is up onto the podium. Paul, of course, defending 0 champion here, which has become 3D Speed. And Johnny Major again on board with Team Zack Speed, BKK Mobile Oil Racing Car. That's a long name.
Mobile!
Oh!
Lord have mercy, that's cheatery, high cheatery.
He avoids the Camaro. Just... It's gonna let Mike Jeffries through. Ariel Zatoni trying to make a comeback here against Paul Riccobeni, but Riccobeni, I think, will hold the position through Griffin's Bend. Lachlan Nichols has lost a spot to Mike Jeffries. Trying to come back, though. That Camaro is a very powerful car, though I have very little in the way of other good things to say about it.
Indeed. So I'm trying to resist going down an MMA rabbit hole on Wikipedia, because I had to look up Yancy Medeiros, because I keep making that joke. Mm-hmm. His nickname is Trash. Not his nickname is not, quote, trash, but his nickname is The Kid, which is trash.
It used to be Fancy.
Why isn't it Fancy now?
I don't know.
That's the dumb. Fancy Yancy Medeiros is the best come on, it's like Andre Touchy-Feely. That's that level of good.
Yeah, you just have to lean into it at that point.
Yeah, you gotta go with it, like Fancy Pants, Lyle Beerbaum. You just do that. That's you now. And also, he's not good at fighting. So, I mean, there's that.
He generally loses to good fighters, so I hesitate to say he's not good at fighting, but like on a technical level, there's not a lot of impressive things about Yancy.
I mean, he did beat Joe Proctor. I will give you that.
I do love Joe Proctor's name.
Joe Proctor Logical. Wait,
whoa! Mike Jeffries is going down the inside. I hate to interrupt, but he's got it. He's got the job done. Fantastic overtake by Mike Jeffries on Lachlan Nichols. Lachlan trying to come back at him into the chase, though. They are squabbling It's going to be the inside line here early on, but you can see the power of that Camaro is just making this very difficult to hold through the Conrad Straight. In the meantime, Josiah Jerome is looking to get back into the top 10 here against Guillermo Martinez. Nice recovery drive by the tropical driver from the Caribbean. In the meantime, it continues. Mike Jeffries still side by side with Lachlan Nichols looking to get down the inside of Murray Corner. Can he get the job done? I think he can. Bit of a compensation saved there by Lachlan Nichols. In the meantime, in the background is Johnny Major and Josiah Jerome, who are both undoubtedly licking their chops. Speeding in the pit lane, penalty for Javier Perez Torres. Terrible for the BWT Audi, which you can see there has a very smashed up front end.
I agree.
In the meantime, Wesley Stokes is down in 31st position. What has happened to Wesley?
He stopped for a crack brake.
Wayne Hutchinson's still up on the tail of, that is, Yevgeny Lazarenko. And he really probably wants to get past... Oh! A tap! Jeffries tapping the rear and pays for it. Off the track there is Michael Magas making a recovery there. You can see the banged up front end from my pit stop.
Shit on me. Look at that.
It's a little misshapen. That's after it got fixed.
Lord have mercy. Mike the Rhinoceros Beetle Magas.
In the meantime, we go back to Wayne Hutchinson fighting for 12th place against Lazarenko. He really probably wants to get clear of Lazarenko, and I mean like beyond the normal sense, because he's got Joe Racer and Mike Stoppmill and Nils Balkich behind them, and those are three pretty fast cars that are kind of out of position due to incidents. So you really want to get ahead of this car here, this car of the Ukrainian driver Yevgeny Lazarenko, to kind of let Yevgeny delay that train of rather fast cars that are quickly closing the gap to Mr. Wayne Hutchinson's behind.
I would agree.
Johnny Major, in the meantime, looking to take a crack at Lachlan Nichols. Mike Jeffries has had his crack and is now back into 11th place.
Listen, I need you to stop being so lazy. I need you to say his name and the entire race team name at the same time.
Johnny Major of Team Zaxby BKK Mobile or Racing? Is that who you're referring to?
Yes.
Well, there you go. Oh, Romulan Australian cloaking device engaged.
Oh, engaged Wallaby Defense Force.
He's dropped 2 spots though. He lost a spot to Josiah and to Johnny Major as a result.
Probably
there.
Because you can't see the race.
Probably the Coney Racing Lachlan Nichols Camaro next on the list to try to take a crack at him is Guillermo Martinez. Josiah Jerome on the tail of Johnny Major. By the way, Johnny Major, the top silver driver in the race at the moment. Josiah Jerome, a man who knows a thing or two about the Silver Cup and the Academy Cup and his utter domination of the Academy class. He's looking to get past Johnny Major, one of the underclass's finest here in the ESR ranks.
I agree.
Anyone who's surprising you with a really solid run, by the way, Byron?
I mean, Lachlan hasn't harpooned himself into the wall trying to kill people yet, so I mean that's positive.
Well, he kind of did like 2 laps ago.
But I mean, Josiah was like 4th, and then down to what, 20 something or other.
I think he was dead last at one point.
At some point, and he's back to 8th place. Listen, can we pass the hat? Can we get some donations to get this man off of running an abacus with chopsticks in some shadowy basement? Can we get the man some fucking hard... I understand that you're scared, you're afraid right now, that if you give him some real hardware, he might destroy the world. But, come on.
Need to get the Josiah Jerome Racing Rig Fund going here.
Can we get a GoFundMe? Like anything we can do.
Those unfamiliar with the situation, Josiah racing at about 25 frames a second, being generous.
Yeah, he's racing on a broke-ass laptop, half a pedal rig and a steering wheel that mostly turns. and he just got down the inside of Johnny Major. Didn't he have to just screw the screen on the laptop into place because nothing works?
Yes, Yes, it broke off during one of the Academy races.
I think the guy went through like $30 with a hot glue just making the thing work again.
And he's up into 7th place, having a fantastic run here. It could have been better, to be fair, like that 4th place qualifying effort. But a fantastic run back through the grid from Josiah Jerome. I demand everyone watching this video give a standing round of applause right now.
Everybody stand up right now. At least give me 2 claps and a Ric Flair.
I would, but I have to press the button for the mic.
Not you.
But I can't give you the Ric Flair.
Woo!
Woo! There is the man we were talking about, Mike Stoppmill. He's coming up to Joe Racer, so he's another one who's on a recovery run. By the way, if you had told me who was going to have a better recovery run, Josiah Jerome or Mike Stoppmill, I would not have picked Josiah. So there you go. Fantastic work.
Yeah, I mean, I can't blame you for that, but I also wouldn't have put money down.
Indeed. So top 10, quick rehash. Riz Gahn, Stephen Cross, Paul Rickbenny, Ariel Zatoni, Nick Peterson, Gerardo Del Vea, Josiah Jerome, Johnny Major, who's your top silver driver, Lachlan Nichols, and Guillermo Martinez, who, you know what, I'm going to give him a little bit of love. He's not had a fantastic race by any means. It's not been flashy, but he's been around that top 10 all day, doing a fantastic job.
Correct.
A number of drivers putting together, in my opinion, very, very solid runs, including this man here, Wayne Hutchinson, up in 13th position. And again, I can't emphasize this enough. This car is this P45 Gillis Motorsports car that he has picked, very awkward. It's got the weirdest shaped cockpit. Well, you can see it right there. Freaking bizarre.
He's basically running a Koenigsberg.
Yeah, it's a very weird car that has no real front, like no top end, and he's going for a move here on a very difficult driver to pass, Yevgeny Lazarenko. Mike Stoppmill in the background has gotten around Joe Racer and is up into 14th position. John Picha there off the track in the red McLaren.
The most difficult part of passing Yevgeny is the ear beating you're going to take in chat afterwards.
Mike Stoppmill making the move on Wade Hutchinson. There's nothing that P45 can do against the might of the Mustang at the moment. So Wayne relegated to 14th position. Hutchinson, Stoppmill, it's you know what? It sounded like I was shitting on Stoppmill a little bit with the recovery run. 13th place after being taken out on like lap 2 or 3. Or I think he took himself out, hit the wall. You can see where the light's no longer working. He gets around Yevgeny very easily, actually, up in there in 12. I think Yevgeny just gave him that spot. Didn't feel like fighting Stoppmill. But, it's been a good comeback ride for Mike Stoppmill as well. Just the emphasis on how good Josiah Jerome's comeback has been when it has been superior to Mike Stoppmill's is something truly to think about. It doesn't look like he's going to get any further. I think Gerardo Del Vea is a little too far up the road with this level of time left for Josiah to catch him. But you never know. He's closing that gap. Down the hill we go here. Joe Racer trailing Wayne Hutchinson, trailing Yevgeny Lazarenko. Battle for 13th, 14th, and 15th in the race. Joe Racer, unfortunately, had to make a pit stop for top up of fuel. Probably a top 10 run, would you agree? You think Joe Racer probably up to the top 10 if he hadn't had to make that pit stop?
I would say everybody should be in the top 10 if they didn't have to make a pit stop.
In the meantime, my recovery run has taken me up to 19th place, but I am very behind David Walsh, who is my next potential target.
David, don't call me Joe Walsh.
Yeah, don't call anyone Joe Walsh. That's probably a good point.
Well, it's more of a, if you don't know anything about Joe Walsh, you should probably look into like his shenanigans and drug use and literally shitting himself on stage.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently he had canceled so many shows in a row in the 70s and 80s that no one would pay him money to do concerts. And he finally got a show somewhere, and he had the worst, shall we say, accelerated digestive syndrome.
Ooh.
but he didn't have, like, he either did this show or his career was officially, like, no one's gonna ever book you for anything in your entire life ever again. So he put on some hip waders and went out and did the show.
That's that's
probably not what you want to hear on your race commentary, but there it is.
Probably not. Hey,
there it is. That's a thing you know now about.
I feel like anyone who is watching this video has signed off on the Byron Derksen unique form of commentary.
Yeah, you're gonna get some facts, some figures, some weird shit you didn't know even existed, and Mike reading stats.
I do apologize for the somewhat stuttering video. I honestly hadn't done a 32 car recording before, and obviously I may have to tinker with the settings a little bit if we have this this particular thing again.
Everybody, once you're done passing the hat for the Josiah Jerome, get him some gear fund. Please donate to Mike.
No. The problem is that it's the internet connection, and that unfortunately cannot be improved unless someone wants to move me into a new area. This is unfortunately the fastest speed internet available in the area.
We're gonna try and get Mike a couple of 380 Ti pluses and go from there.
Mike Stockmill, in the meantime, has found his next target. It is Mike Jeffries, who's had
almost back up in the top 10.
Yeah, he's on the charge. Mike Jeffries and Guillermo Martinez. Sorry, but you guys separate Mike Stockmill from the top 10. That's not a place I'd want to be. Not a lot of time left, though. He's only got 2 laps left to get it done. You think he can do it?
What? Break into the top 10?
Yeah.
6 seconds behind 10th place. Okay. 3 seconds behind. Yes, I think
you believe he can. Okay.
I have the faith.
The Mustang is on the charge. By the way, if he gets into the top 10, we have a Camaro and 2 Mustangs in the top 10. Jesus Christ.
Mike's Stay Puff Stuff Meal.
In the meantime, I feel like this battle between Wayne Hutchinson and Yevgeny Lazarenko has gone on the entire race. I could be wrong, but I feel like that is the case. And right now they've got Joe Racer making it a bit of a threesome there. They're coming up to some lapped traffic. Sorry, I do not know who's driving that Porsche up ahead. No, that's Yevgeny's Porsche. Not sure who the Porsche up ahead of Yevgeny is. Actually, I think that's Timo, I think. Could be wrong. Haven't quite identified names to cars yet. Wayne Medeiros is the car ahead of him. That is the orange Mercedes crap racing, which is not Richard. It's not Richard Higgs this season. He changed over to the Audi.
Is he in junk racing?
Should be in junk racing.
I didn't say should. I was asking if he was.
No, I'm saying should have found junk racing somehow.
That would have been good. In the final 20 seconds of the race, I would like to ask the viewers at home, without Googling, can you name the person who has the most wins in UFC history and most finishes in UFC history? Because I wasn't really able to resist going down a bit of a rabbit hole. Not far, just a couple of feet.
I hate to interrupt it, but last lap, Stockmill, 11th place, still at the top 10. There we go. Going down the inside of the McLaren of Guillermo Martinez. Sorry, Guillermo, but you cannot resist. By the way, did you see what team name Mike Stockmill has gone with for this season?
He's a fucking you goddamn techno bastards. Oh no, that's Guillermo. No, I didn't.
He has gone with his. You remember his Assetto Corsa team that we're part of?
Oh yeah.
Thundernuts.
Well done. I approve.
All right. Checkered flag is out. This is the last lap. Riz Gons leads from Stephen Cross. By the way, Stephen Cross has closed the gap up pretty well at the end there, but it looks like this one has gone to Riz Gons.
Caleb Gonzalez, you mean?
I will use the name that he's chosen.
Oh no! Hey, listen, if he's switched over, that's fine.
He has switched over.
Don't misname people. You're gonna get me too.
He has switched over. Wayne Hutchinson putting the pressure on Yevgeny Lazarenko, trying to find his way around. Paul Riccobeni looks like he's got himself a podium ahead of Errol Zatoni Nick Peterson, Gerardo Del Vea, Josiah Jerome, Johnny Major, Lachlan Nichols. Lachlan is under pressure, though, Byron. 0.6 of a second. Stop Mill is coming.
Lawchan, you're going to get it.
Mustang on Camaro Violence. Are we going to get it? In fact, here we are. Mike Stockmill tracking down.
Put him in the wall.
A very damaged Ford GT there getting out of the way. I think that's Jean-Simon Chenard. But it is heading into Murray Corner. Can Mike Stockmill get the job done against the Camaro? It doesn't look like he did. I think Lachlan Nichols held on to 9th place against Mike Stockmill.
Mike Stockmill, top 10 OP, please.
Indeed.
Joe Racer from Autism Motorsports.
Joe Racer being trailed by Nils Baukic in the Iron Force by Ring Police. I like that car. That's a very nice car.
That's a hell of a name.
Yeah. He will finish it in 16th place. Rick Martel, Golf Racing JP. You know the Golf is Rick Martel.
Hell yeah.
Looks like he's on a slowdown lap based on his pace. I think he's actually finished the race. And unfortunately, since there are a couple of lap cars, we're kind of getting that. Leonard Burke coming across the line there in 17th position.
Leonard with a vengeance.
That is John Picha finishing up behind him. John is down a lap, and here comes the damaged car of Michael Magas, who is trying to track down, I believe... nope, that's a lap car out of him. Anyways, there are your final results. Riz Gons wins from Stephen Cross, Paul Riccobeni, Ariel Zattoni, Nick Peterson, Gerardo Davell, Josiah Jerome, Johnny Major, Lachlan Nichols. A heroic effort to keep Mike Stockmill behind him. Then it is Mike Jeffries, Guillermo Martinez, Yevgeny Lazarenko, Wayne Hutchison, Joe Racer, Nils Baukic, Leonard Burke, David Walsh, Michael Magas, Hernaldo Tavares, Rick Martel, Zoltan Kalmani, Mark Klabzul, Timo Konetsky, Dixon Hurst, John Picha, Justin Kratz, Jean-Simon Chenard, Wayne, and then 4 cars that did not make it to the end, Wayne Medeiros, Javier Perez-Torres, Wesley Stokes, and Eric Friesen.
R.I.P. Javi P.
Indeed. So that was the opener, and we'll be off to Laguna Seca for round 2 of the 3D Speed Series. I think you'll be excited for that one, Byron. The Laguna Seca layout is always difficult to pass at, and it leads to some aggressive driving at times.
I do enjoy me a lasagna sandwich.
And you will be pleased to know that Micheal is on 2 series calendars this time around. It will be there for the WTCRs and the Intercontinental GT3.
I am reasonably excited, but I know that everybody's going to be mysteriously sick, and everybody's going to have technical glitches. Oh, I'm sorry we didn't record it. Oh.
Hey, no, well, you know what? If it doesn't get recorded in the WTCRs, not my fault. Not my project. I am unfortunately playing soccer on Tuesday nights. So,
soccer?
Yes.
And by soccer, do you mean playing Mech Warrior?
No, it's actually soccer.
Don't lie to the people.
I gotta get off my ass sometimes and do some activity.
I mean, that's probably true. You could just sprint to work every day.
You know what? I have pondered walking to work a couple of times, but it's a little bit too far to work. Like if I was a little closer, I'd totally walk.
No walk, only sprint.
I do walk home from work sometimes though.
Sprint.
not in that good a shape.
Naruto run.
Anyways, that is all for today for Bathurst. I hope you enjoyed a pretty damn good show out. I think we only actually had one AWOL driver for this race, so damn impressive. A couple of people weren't here. Dark Lord of the Sith, Frederico Zvanger, was not here, unfortunately. And we will see you at Laguna Seca for the next 3D Speed Race, although our next commentary gig will probably be the Academy Upper Class race from Sepang North. And a quick reminder to Riz Gons to fix his race app account so I can post the standings.
That would be handy.